Yeah, man. So this is Feast Life Fellowship, Mind Glow Media Production. We here again, we back at it. So I see you eating my rice and peas and curry chicken dinner right here, man. Like, what's your thoughts on it? Like,
my mouth is watering. Travel, I want to say halfway across the country, but from the top to the bottom. It's one of our traditions. Every time I come out,
Indeed.
It's gotten better and better every time. And not that there was ever anything wrong with it, but I heard you talking about perfecting the recipe earlier, so I'm just looking forward to digging in, man.
All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. So, this is, one of the things that I do. I like, taking vegans like this brother right here and then bringing them back to the dark side, you know what I mean, in terms of the meat eating and all of that. I mean, I don't eat meat myself, but I do like fish and chicken. Don't overindulge in any of them, but, some of my best dishes, involve fish and chicken. So I made the brother some curry chicken and rice and peas right here. Got, a piece of fried chicken, just a little piece, you know what I mean? Just give him a little sample. Not trying to like destroy, his worldview and all that,
right.
All in one soup. But no, I'm just kidding. But I enjoy cooking. That's one of the reasons why I pursued the culinary arts. I feel like cooking really is an art, and it's something that brings me like peace of mind. It brings me enjoyment when I see my wife, my friends, my daughter, enjoy the food that I make. It really brings a great sense of fulfillment, and I'm looking forward to bringing, some of my skills to the greater public very soon. So just look out for that.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Mom?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. My nigga. I'm good shit.
Alright.
I'm well up the way.
Alright, good. Glad you liked it.
So yeah, man, as I'm eating, I just want to share with you a few ideas I had, coming out and stuff like that.
Indeed. All means.
I feel like spirituality is really starting to get back to the basics. I think about over the course of our relationship. We started out with the super duper metaphysical.
Champion!
The super duper metaphysical, biblical, analytical, a whole bunch of deep stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of doubling back on the basics. I mean, even something simple like food, is a very spiritual act.
Definitely. Making it and eating it.
Indeed. With that said, when I think about food, I think about the emotions brought forth. A lot of times, as we spoke about earlier, most people don't go through the 5 sensory, modalities of enjoying their food because they're paying attention to their phone and eating at the same time.
Good point.
As I eat this food, I feel emotion. I have like gratefulness, the fact that somebody cared about me enough to actually prepare this meal. Thankful to the chicken that sacrificed itself, and thankful for maternal energy in the planet to produce the crops necessary to bring forth the entire meal. So when we talk about energies and stuff like that, I feel like I'm at a place where energy is just motion, and rolling. I can speak positively on that. Say, hey, these emotions are affected by a higher order, a higher power of things. When you think about cooking and just emotions and where the collective society is right now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh man, well yeah, I mean you highlighted something that was really powerful in terms of like people like eating and looking at their phones. Like one of the things that my family, like what we do, we're all very busy, daughter included, with our own individual lives. But when we come together, we make it a point to have days over the course of the week. I mean, it's not every single day, but we make days over the course of the week where we sit at the table and we enjoy breakfast together. We, give acknowledgement, we express our gratefulness, our gratitude for the food that's being made available to us. Of course, we know that there are people in countries who don't have, kale, rice and peas and broccoli and all kind of great foods, available to them that they can just eat whenever they want. But, we're just very grateful for the fact that, we have that. I got a chance to go to what many people would consider a third world country, but I feel like it's first world in its culture, Benin. And, like I was just looking at how people are like, just hustling out there, to survive and, like make ends meet. And a lot of people don't have the benefit that we have in the sense of getting access to the quality of food that, like we eat on a regular basis. So, we just make a habit of just giving acknowledgement of our gratitude for the food available to us, and just enjoy each other's company without a phone present, without the laptop going, just taking a deep breath, looking into each other's faces, smiling and engaging in conversation, talking about the food, talk about like what we have planned for the day, talking about what went on early in the day, if the meal is at the end of the day, if it's dinner. And I think that's really critical, and I think that a lot of people need to get back to that. Like we live in a culture now where, the teenage daughter, she got a TV in her room, the husband and wife, or the wife or the husband, whatever, they have a TV in their room, and then there's a TV in the living room. So everybody like goes into their own space and they'll watch TV with, their meal in their hand. And I just think it's good to like just get back to that culture where everybody congregates, and it just creates a good family energy. It's good to work with your own individual energy, but at the end of the day, you're not just an individual, you're part of a larger group. That group is a family, and outside of the family is the nation, but you don't really have a national identity, a national construct if the families are in disarray. So we try to like just keep that family energy with ourselves very strong, and it really pays off. Sure. The quality of our interactions, the level of enjoyment and peace we experience when we're with each other, and I feel like you really encounter divinity through the food that you eat. A lot of people might beg to differ and say that, well, that's only if you're a vegan and you only eat vegetables and fruits. I think that if you eat good food, that food that's well prepared, food that's made thoughtfully, and you don't go too much into the extremes in terms of your eating habits. I think that any responsible adult should be eating fruits and vegetables on a regular basis. But I'm not one of those people who feels like, some fried chicken is the devil, some fish is the devil. I think it's really how you portion it out. Like if you eating half your plate is animal protein, like that might be a bit extreme. And if you're eating animal proteins every single day, that might be something you might want to re-examine. But every few days or so to have like some curry chicken or some fried chicken, you might have fried chicken, like maybe 2-3 times a month, maybe even once a week, I don't know, but I don't think it's a bad thing, especially if you're supplementing that with your fruits, your vegetables, and you're eating good quality animal proteins, stuff that's grass-fed, organic, you know what I mean, and you're not getting it from, like the hood supermarket. I don't make any chicken or fish, that, comes from, those environments, because I feel like a lot of times it's not of, good quality. Like they inject it with all kind of, animal hormones. You see a drumstick and the drumstick is like that big. I've never seen a chicken this big. So if the drumstick is that big, something's going on. So sure. That's just my thought. But like I was saying, I do feel that you encounter divinity through the food that you eat, just through the experience of enjoying your meal, enjoying taking in the sustenance that gives you energy and some level of vitality. It's funny, like I'm brought back to the root of the word God, which has like a Germanic root to it, and it's related. The word God is related to the word good and gut, which was originally pronounced gut, G-U-T, gut. So from that word, gut is the belly. It's in your stomach. So clearly, we're shown that through the language, there's a clear relationship between what is good, what is God, and what is in the gut, what is in the belly. When I went to Benin, I was doing research beforehand, and even in my book, like I talk about the name Dahomey, which is the old name for Benin, which is Da is in the belly, Da being the rainbow serpent. It is my belief that the rainbow serpent signifies the color spectrum of energy of light that anything can be broken down to. You know, rice, kale, strawberries, oranges, fish, everything breaks down into light. So this light has like a lot of different colors within the visible light spectrum. If we were to break it down, if we were to speed up the electronic spin of the you know, of the electrons surrounding the atoms, and we were to like speed it up to the point where it wasn't a solid object anymore, it was more like a light beam, we would see like a variety of colors. And it is my belief that that band of colors goes back to, you know, like what Da would even represent. Like even in the mythology, the voodoo mythology, they talk about Da descending from on high and, you know, coming down to earth, so to speak. So I look at that as like the descent of the light codes that program our thoughts, give us inspiration, and give us vitality and energy through the foods that we eat. And I'm even like thinking now as I, you know, consider it, you know, in Jamaica, when we talk about the process of eating a food, we say, oh, you nyam, you love to nyam, meaning you love to eat. But nyam, to me, in my mind, although it has a Senegalese root, well, and you have to even consider that Senegal was part of the old Ghanaian Empire. I think about the Ghanaian word Inyame, which is another word for God. So right there through linguistics, when you looked at the German linguistics, now that you look at West African linguistics, you see that the process of eating, the process of consuming food is being linked through divinity again, through phonetics. You know what I mean? Nyam means to eat. Nyame and Yame, Gin Yame means none but God exists. God is the only reality. Everything exists within God. There's nothing that exists outside of God. So that's a saying within among the Ashanti people of Ghana. Gin Yame, none but God. Only God exists. But Nyame is a name for God. So in Nyame, Nyam, God. We take in the power when we eat our food. You know what I mean? And then we feel good, we feel vital, and we have like all kind of creative ideas coming at us. That is the inspiration of God through the food. Whether that food is a fruit, whether that food is a vegetable, whether that food is some rice, whether that food is some beans, we get vitality, we get sustenance from what we eat. So food really is like something that is really divine. Like sometimes I'll just sit down and be eating my dinner. Sometimes I'm by myself and I'm like, yo man, I'm just really grateful for the Creator to make this food available to us where we can perform the act of alchemy, which is what cooking is.
For sure.
And transform some hard grains of rice into something soft and chewy. You know, take some beans that might be like hard. You know, you put a raw bean in your mouth and you try to chew on it. It's like chewing on a rock. But you put those beans to soak. Then you take those soaked beans and you put it to boil. And then you make it soft. You season it. All of that is alchemy. So I consider myself an alchemist in my profession of culinary arts. And it really allows you to interact with the divine on a different level, outside of, you know, like reading a book or, you know, a religious text. You know, like you have a first-hand experience with the divine, and it just makes you more grateful. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for what's being made available to me, and I find as I get older and as I engross myself in my culinary arts, although I haven't really pushed it hard outside in the public sector, in the private sector of my home and amongst my family, my friends, you already know. You know, like I cook for my family, my friends, like all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes they might even request for me to like come to their house and put some things together, and I do that, and I take great pride in it. You know what I mean? My lamb is off the charts. You know, I got a lot of vegans, you know, begging me, you know, for that as well. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be making that, you know, this Sunday. But, you know, long story short, food is beautiful, food is great, and, you know, we encounter God through our food.
I wanted to zone in on something you're saying. You were talking about food coming from the etymology of God. You know, it's very interesting that a lot of times we associate God with being like mental in the mind and stuff like that. But from what I research is if you study the stomach, what goes in the stomach tends to have more effect on your process of thinking, more so than like actual neurotransmitters. Not a lot of people, I don't think, are aware of, myself included at one point, is that most of the serotonin that your body regulates comes from your stomach, actually.
Yes, so, that is correct. That is correct.
And this is something I noticed amongst one of my friends, is they never had anxiety attacks. They never had.
And I just wanted to add something for those viewers who don't know. Serotonin is the base chemical from which you get tryptamine. Of course, it's in smaller amounts, but tryptamine is also the active ingredient in things like DMT. And serotonin in its other, different forms, are also found in small traces in the chocolate that we eat. That's why a lot of people who say when they eat chocolate, they feel that sense of euphoria. It's because the chocolate has that chemical in it. But, continue.
Yeah. So I was just saying, one of my friends, they started, never had anxiety attacks or panic attacks or anything like that. And then they went on a high processed diet. They were smoking a lot of weed. Didn't have that much. They started to eat like a lot of unhealthy food. And because of that, they started to have panic attacks and stuff like that. And I explained to them that, that probably has to do with the food you're eating. But they were talking me through the emotions and stuff like that. And it kind of made me step back and think like, your stomach is really a vessel. You know what I mean? And
it's another brain.
Yeah, it's another brain essentially. And through that vessel, you, for lack of a better word, allow spirits to consume you to facilitate certain types of emotions. I know it may sound like kind of an abstract thought, but I was just curious what you thought about that.
Oh man, yeah, I think the lifestyles that we live have a great impact on the type of spirits that are around us, and the types of spirits that are around us in many ways dictate how we move, how we act, how we interact with people. You know what I mean? If you're a person who doing sniffing like blow or whatever, and you get to a point where you just hyper and angry, and you want to fight with people and you start arguments or whatever. You know what I mean? There's a spirit feeding off of that energy, and however a person is conducting themselves, however they're carrying themselves, that is a mirror reflection of the type of entity that's around them and is gaining energy from how they're moving. There are spirits that gain energy and sustenance off of you doing good deeds, you know what I mean? Off of you expressing love to people. And then, they, disperse some of that energy towards you so that you will continue to do those things that feed them.